Good morning, everybody. So nice to be here today. It's so nice to be in an environment where we're talking about ideas and creative ideas. And that is my world. My theme today, honestly, I think the destination unknown is so perfect for right now, as we all know, for better and worse. And as uncomfortable as it is to not know where we're going, it's an incredibly creative place to be because we can choose in a wide variety of directions in where to go. And I think technology is changing so quickly now that you may have an idea that doesn't really exist in the world yet that you can make happen. I mean, there's just access to technology, and I find that really exciting. I was a classical full-time professional oboist. That's all I wanted to do from the time I was 10 years old. And I was playing with Chicago Symphony. I was at the top of my game when I had a shoulder injury. My destiny changed dramatically. But what I found, as uncomfortable as that was, I found new avenues. I started the Chicago Bird Collision Monitors. It's still going. It's a big conservation effort in Chicago. And I started getting into my own visual art and my composition and technology. And I want to show you some projects today. The path of creative intuition and the spark of inspiration, those are my guideposts. I want to show you a few projects and also show you what the seed was for these different projects and encourage you to really follow what you engage with, what resonates for you, even if nobody's ever thought of it before. Go for it. It's an exciting way to pursue technology and creativity and innovation. So let me pull up my first slide here. I will tell you, when I was playing with the Chicago Symphony, I never imagined I'd be doing this. This is a robotic drum musical partner. There's an ultrasonic sensor on there and a motor. And the inspiration for this, I didn't think mechanical sound could be that interesting. I'm an oboist, we do phrasing, you know. But I went to a workshop and found that motors could do crescendos and diminuendos and be interactive, and that's what was the seed for this project. And I composed a Slavic march to it. I have a distance sensor on there, and I'm in the sweet spot for that right now, so it's giving me a beat. There's 3 different zones to my coding. It's run from an Arduino, which some of you know about, I betcha. When I move in, it becomes interactive with me and a real duet partner based on how I move and my distance. It's also kind of entertaining to find the beat zone. All right, let me show you this next one. This next piece is run with Nintendo Wii Remotes. That's a slightly older controller. Anybody got a Nintendo Wii still? Hey, excellent. So I found out artists were hacking the game controller. And I could get into the buttons, I could get into the all of the controls there, and the one that really excited me was the accelerometer. I thought that was a pretty cool control, so I built that into this interactive drawing program. Built for up to 4 Wii Remotes. There's also a triple theremin on one of the Wii Remotes, which is really just honestly very tricky. It's a very complex drawing program. I had a woman stand there and make artwork for 30 minutes one time because it layers up, nothing's erased. She's got the accelerometer going. The shapes get bigger the harder you swing your arms. All right, you get the idea with that one. I'm going to move on. This next piece, did anybody see the solar eclipse? All right, I thought that was the most remarkable thing. I was in Nashville, and I went out to see it in the totality, they call it, when the sun actually was totally covered. it was an incredible experience for me. I found it so beautiful and so wrong, you know, and the light was so incredible. And I filmed it. This is all video footage I filmed, and actually more traditional composition that I created for Chatterbird in Nashville. And I'm working the visuals for the performance. The text is from an essay by Annie Dillard called Total Eclipse, with permission. So I had MIDI controllers. Anybody know what MIDI is? That's old. I had a controller up here to control how the visuals were interacting and the spin and all of that. It was really very fun. You might notice a theme in my work. I like to play. I like to play. And what I find is that I'll create these installations, interactive installations or performance pieces in my studio. But then when I put them out in public and people play with them, they do things I never thought about. And I get such a kick out of that, you know? Sorry, I made a boom there with my microphone. This is Constellation. This was a commission by Metro Arts and the National Endowment for the Arts. And this is using the Xbox Connect. Anybody use that? All right, a few people, yeah. And I brought one today, set up at the Student Center. I've got an installation for y'all to try. And the drum, I brought the drum. There's a blue creature in here. I don't know if y'all know Spirited Away, Miyazaki, but I love Miyazaki. There's a little bit of an homage to Miyazaki. Now, the Connect is actually, it's kind of a mirror effect. And when you walk into the space, the Connect shows you yourself, but in an animation. And each of these has sound. And when you move your arms, the shapes change, and sometimes the sounds change as well. This is so funny, on the street. I exhibited this at 6 different locations in Nashville. It's a public artwork project. The thumpy sound is the sunset. I'm running through a lot of material for you. But I guess what I wanted to emphasize is that the more I listen to what resonates for me, whether it's something that's really I'm curious about or something I find really beautiful, and I just start walking in that direction, and every one of these projects has started with just something simple I was excited about, something I was engaged with. And I really wanted to encourage you to stay on those ideas, stay on those things that really fascinate you, even if nobody's doing them. Because when you really love something, you really engage with it, what I find is that the intuition comes, the creative intuition comes. It's like one step at a time. You know, like this piece, I got fascinated with the idea of having interactive light beams. Has anybody heard of interactive light beams? No, I hadn't either. But I got really excited about it, and I had the opportunity to build something at the Frisk Museum in Nashville. So I had a 20 by 40 room to play with. I want to show you what I did here. There's a 3-movement piece for this. The first one, I had an installation. The installation itself is playing music in the background, and then I'm also performing with Missy Raines, who you may know, we're performing with the installation in real time. So it's this surround experience. And this is video I shot along with what they call generative animation, which is computer-created animation layered on top. There's 3 movements to this. This is blue. It was inspired by Kandinsky's writings in the Spiritual and Art, which are very inspiring. The other 2 movements, which you'll see shortly, are actually sound-generated animations. And when you step in a certain place on the light beam, different sounds are triggered. So if nobody's on the light beams, there's no sound. And once the sound starts, it affects the projection. There was cartwheels, there was jumping. We had a great time. And the projection is showing the frequency I'm hitting. I brought that project also. So, as I stated in the beginning, my life did not go exactly as I planned. I really thought I'd be sitting in an orchestra for my entire life. And I loved doing that. I got to play with Chicago Symphony, I got to tour. It was a wonderful experience. But I never imagined I'd be doing code, doing my own creative code, soldering electronics, creating sensors. In that blue, yellow, red piece, I had 9 sensors. I had 4-foot sensors under the beams of light. Gave away my magic secret there. The beams weren't actually interactive, but it looked like they were. And what I find is that, again, listening to what I find compelling. You know, I love birds. I love nature. I have a project that is built around footage I took of bees at my house. There was this sound I couldn't identify. I found out it was a swarm of bees in the pussy willow. They come every February. They're going to be here soon. And it was this wonderful sound. I recorded the sound and I recorded the video. And the next thing, I used that in a piece with oboe, an interactive piece with oboe. So I don't know exactly where my projects are going to land and where what's going to be the final event or incarnation. But if I keep listening for that intuitive sense and that intuitive direction, and I talk to people, you know, and I have my friends and community around me to help me figure these things out and to try them out, I'm really, the results have been incredibly rewarding. And you guys are so bright. And I'm so glad you're here today. I'm so glad this thing's happening in person. And I'm just privileged to be on the stage with all these other remarkable people. And I hope you'll come see me at the Student Center. I've got the robotic drum, and I've got an interactive thing with the Connect to play with. So thank you very much. Hope to see you later.